Hello everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 10, where today we're going to be doing a first look at the Dreamfoil EMB-110, known as the Banderante, or the Bandit, as it's known as. I've got to say, this airplane kind of has a little spot in my heart because when I worked on the ramp back in the mid-2000s and on, I worked on a lot of these airplanes and got to see the insides of them. And when I saw this coming out for X-Plane 10, I was like, oh my god, yes, gotta get it. You can too, as well, get it for $29.95 is what it is over the xplane.org store. And I'll put the link to that in the description below. And just a fantastic airplane for its price. If you really like GA airplanes, this is the one for you, let me tell you. I really like the Carinado B200, but this one beats out the King Air. So if we look out here, you can see we have little click spots for everything. We have wheel chocks. We can put those away or put them down, as well as these little inlet covers and the little pitot tube guys on the side. Now, if you don't want to click on everything individually, you can click on the nose and you get a nice list there. Wheel blockers, what they call the shocks. It's kind of funny. Let's spin around back here and you can see there's the tail stand. So we'll remove the tail stand since we're going to be taking this thing into the air today. We're using a freeware scenery of San Francisco, and I will put that link in the description below as well. It's amazing for being free. I mean, sometimes I can't believe some of these sceneries these guys put out. But what a really neat airplane. So let's get acquainted with it and head up to the cockpit. Alrighty, welcome aboard. Now, whenever we hit our little our numbers here on the right where the numpad is, you have a lot of presets. I've kind of jumped and moved them around a little bit to my own liking, but a lot of the passenger views and stuff is default. So if we hit 2 here, we look down. 3, we look up. 4, we've got the whole cabin back there. 5 is my own to make sure the left wing is clear. 6 puts you back here in a seat looking out. 7's another wing view on the left. 8, there's the cargo. And you got a tail. That's pretty much all the views by default. This thing is absolutely awesome, guys. Absolutely awesome. Another neat feature is that when you pull the parking brake, if you press both of the wheel brakes down on my pedals down there, you can see it releases it. So that's kind of a neat feature. Not a lot of X-Plane airplanes have that. At least I don't think they do. But let's get it fired up and go flying. Really easy to get everything on board here. We can go out and get the GPU and deal with the GPU, but we're just going to use the battery. No big deal. Battery comes on. You hear everything firing up. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, cool. Not sure about the inertial separators yet. We're not going to mess with that. We just want to make sure we get everything where it needs to be. So nav lights can come on. We can turn the panel lights on and that way we can adjust the panel lights as need be. Don't need the beacon or anything like that on already. My X55 has all these switches on there, and I have a lot of that stuff attached to those switches, which is really cool. So my beacon, all that. So you won't see me reaching up over there to do that. Okay, so to fire it up, it's really simple. Let's go outside again really quick, and we'll make sure the airplane is clear and close the door. So to close the door, we just click on the door. Oop, over here. You'll see a little arrow thing pop up like that. Door is open. We can pull those chocks and we're ready to go. All right, let's fire it up. So pretty straightforward. You just turn the engine and you're good to go. So we have this over here, the 2 starters. So let's start the left engine up first today. We hit that. You'll see it starting to get some spin here in a minute as it fires up. And we'll keep an eye on these gauges, make sure we don't get a hot start or anything. There we go, it's 40. And we'll introduce the fuel into that left engine, and you can see it spinning to life out there. Really cool. Really cool. And I love how it's 3D modeled too. It takes a long time for the engine to spool up, as it should. And I'm not sure, 100% sure yet. I just got this thing, and this is a first look, so you know as much as me at this point with this airplane. But most turboprops are kind of the same. So if I'm doing something out of sequence or it's not right, I don't have the checklist in front of me. It did come with checklists. I plan on printing those out and learn how to fly it better. But for the time being, just give me a break. All right, That's done. We can kill that guy, bring him back, and we can put that generator on if we want. We get the green light. That's a good thing. Inverter, left inverter, we can turn that on. Let's go ahead and start the right engine. I might be doing things out of sequence. I don't know. Not sure of the flows yet. Still learning. So the right engine's firing up. Keep an eye on the information here. There it goes. We'll just introduce that fuel in. And she goes. Oh, come on. Some of these click spots. There we go. It's firing up. So now we're getting 2 good starts on the outside. And listen to these sounds. Really, really cool. It comes with 2 models. You can have dihedral, 10-degree dihedral elevators, or straight across. Embraer made 2 variants of this, and that's the reason why. Oh, let's turn our beacon on. We forgot to do that. There they are. Nice rotating beacons. Looks very realistic. Head back inside. Okay, we can turn our weather radar on now. Just go boop. The standby mode. You can go to the test mode, and you'll see it paint. There we go. Beautiful. And we'll just go turn it to on mode there. You can change the range, you know, 40, 20. We'll put it on 20 there. WX is weather mode. And that's pretty much all you need to know for that little guy. You have your basic transponder, DME, all sorts of fun stuff there. You got kind of a navigational little guy here. It's like a old GPS. Old GPS. There, it's firing up. And we're getting a master caution. So we have 26 volts AC, generator 2, inverter 2. We need to turn the inverter 2 on, and we need that gen on. To turn the gen on, we'll turn off the start guy there, and we will turn the generator on. There it goes. So we have 2 greens there. It kind of looks weird, don't it? No, okay. I was wondering if that was in the middle or not. Who knows? So this is looking good. We got nice green lights there. Inertial separators, we're just going to turn them on. Usually, if I do, I don't get anything on the annunciator panel, so I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that is the reason behind that. Okay, I think everything's pretty much good to go. Passengers are in the back. Oh, wait, we don't have any passengers today. Oh, no. We'll check our, we'll pull this guy back, and we can pull our trim wheel back just a hair. It's very, very, very stiff. I just know how much out of feel I'm going to need it for takeoff. This doesn't mean much. It's got a weird airspeed indicator. As you can see here, you've got 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 knots, 140, 160. So clean up by 145-ish for the flaps. So we'll go ahead and introduce setting the flap. It's this that little button right there. And we'll just do 1 notch of flaps is what we'll call it. Here in front of us is the controls for our panel lights. See? Beautiful. I wasn't going to show you guys a night flight for the first one, but I mean, eventually you guys get to see all the lighting that this airplane has to offer because it's really cool. All right, looks everything's pretty much ready to go. We can release our parking brake, and we'll taxi over to 1 left today. All right, we got a little bit of a taxi here today, nothing too terrible. I just want to let you know, if we have these condition levers over here just beyond the fuel cutoff, I find this the easiest way for this thing to taxi. We can, you know, change the prop pitch as need be, but right now I'm just keeping those fully forward. We'll need that for takeoff. Normally you will, I'm not really sure what this airplane, what its normal procedures are, but I've got to say, a taxi's very nice with that. If you have those conditioner levers all the way forward, it's going to run away from you. And what I mean by that is most turboprop airplanes, and the real ones do this too. I mean, this is not just a flight simulator thing. When you release the brakes, they'll start rolling. Doesn't take much for these things to get rolling, and that does it. So we had a little bit of power, and it taxis very nice, very smooth, easy on the wheel. And I'm not sure if they simulated it this way, but if you hit the left and right toe brakes, like, or the wheel brakes back there, it kind of feels like a hydraulic nose steering. All right, before we make our turn up here at the next taxiway, we'll just test our reversers and make sure they're working today. So we'll throw it into reverse range, beta. There goes into beta. Add a little bit of power. There they go up. Looks good to me. And we'll kill those off. Just always want to make sure the first fly of the day that your reversers are working correctly, and they seem to be doing just that. Almost down to one left, and while we're taxiing here, I want to let you hear the difference of range of sound whenever it's in this low idle mode here on the condition levers. When I add a little bit of power, listen to the sounds. And pull them back. Really, really good stuff. All right, we don't need the entire runway to take off, so right off our nose, you see with a windsock. Winds are 020 at 6. And we are clear for takeoff, so I'm gonna turn on my landing lights. And we'll double check that to make sure they're on and everything's on there. Landing and taxi. There's no strobes in this airplane. And we'll line up on the runway and we're gonna be ready to go, pretty much. So we'll push our conditioner levers forward. Now you can do one each individually, or you can hit this little middle button there and it does them both at the same time. So now we get the sound of that. Add a little bit of power. Let them stabilize a little bit. Feel the airplane's nose gear, there we go. And add power. Takeoff power almost set here. Just getting closer to 18. I'm gonna set it right about 1900 on torque. Right there, it's good, okay. Let the nose kind of do its thing. We'll rotate a little over 100 knots. It doesn't take much to get this thing off the ground. There's over 100, so rotate very smooth, and we're in the air. Bring our gear up. And we are on our way. So I plan on flying toward, we're heading towards Oakland, actually. We're gonna make a right turn, and we'll shoot a right downwind for runway 28 right, back to the GA ramp. That way we can get a feel of, it'll have a nice little six knot crosswind, and you can see what the airplane handles like. Ooh, too much torque there. Ooh, hello. Sorry, I was not paying attention. I accidentally pushed forward on my throttles a little bit more. Pulling back our power here at about 2,500 feet. And we're still getting a little bit of a hit from the wind. You can see the wind is hitting underneath our left wing and trying to lift it up. That's because of that slight crosswind there. We'll pull our power back a little bit more. And now we're at 180 knots. Airplane's very capable of doing over 200 if you need to be. And we're just going to make a little more of a right turn, and we're going to do a teardrop shaped approach back around towards the runway of 28 right, which I'm sure San Francisco probably uses 28 left for arrivals and 28 right for departures, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. But we'll pull our power back here and start configuring the airplane for landing. All right, we're coming down in altitude now, lining up on the runway here, showing us a little low, so we're going to shoot it at about 1,500 feet, and then we'll fly the happy lights down. And we're getting a master caution there because our gear is not, or our flaps aren't where they want it to be with the gear down. There we go. And we're going to work on this a little bit more here. Not worried about the master caution light right now. Yeah, it's a landing gear discrepancy it doesn't like. Gear down. Turboprops usually will bitch at you if you don't put the gear down. With and you start pulling the power back, so we're taking it nice and easy. Still showing a little low here. 1,200 feet will do nicely for this approach. Let's try to get here on the VASI, or the VAPI lights. VASI. And I know I've said this many times before. We're going to use the PAPI lights, and people are like, what are PAPI lights? So we're probably mean sea level here, so we're probably 800 for the pattern, but we'll shoot it at 1,000. And it's those lights, they're just to the left of the runway. And you can see how we have 3 red on the right. Now we're all red. So let's bring the nose up. There we go. There we go. Finally got back up on that glide slope. It's kind of a tricky glide slope here. And that's a thing that I've noticed from making the switch from FSX over to X-Plane is see, now we're too high, is the fact that the depth perception is there. One of the biggest things whenever I started flying in real life was I was like, man, it feels like we're so much higher than we actually are. There's inner marker. A little high, but we're just going to let the airplane settle itself. A little bit more there. Flies very, very nicely. Very nice. So we get closer to the touchdown markers. Over the piano keys. Don't need much. Maybe a little bit of left rudder there. We'll start pulling the power back just a hair. You want to fly a turboprop pretty much to the runway. Get that nose off it. Nose off. Right about right there. And pull our power back. And we're down. Kind of rocked it over there. Fly the nose back down. There we go. And now we can throw her into reverse. Whoa, hello. There we go. A little slower. And kill those. Listen to those sounds. Incredible. Alrighty, clearing the runway. Had a little bit of a bounce to that landing, but, you know, not bad. I'm still learning the airplane. We'll go ahead and bring these guys back down since those were crazy high. There we go. A little easier for us to taxi. We can clear our landing lights off. And taxi to the ramp. Right up here. Pull our power back a little bit more. And just, you know, one thing I noticed I don't like so far is the fact that the sounds are so good, but I really wish they would have put a touchdown sound in there, kind of like the CRJ has and some other airplanes, because the default X-Plane is just so bad. That it's so terrible. I absolutely hate that. I might look into using different airplanes touchdown sound. Such as maybe, I think Caronado might have one, I'm not sure. But I'll look into that for sure. But I mean, just a gem this airplane is. A lot of fun to fly. Very, very friendly hands-on airplane, that's for sure. If you like flying airplanes and not programming FMCs, this is the one for you. I'm a-telling you. Let's clean up the airplane. Bring our flaps all the way up. And we'll taxi in. Actually, let's try taxiing in on one engine. Okay, pull the parking brake like that, and we can kill the other engine now. And she will swing on down. Oh, we already shot that one down. It's the other side. let it come on down. We'll pull our props back. There we go. The full feather. And we can kill these guys. We can kill the inverters. We can kill the generators. And we can kill the battery, pretty much. And that is about all there is to it. Not bad at all. It taxied really well on one engine. I was really surprised. Another thing, as I was taxiing in taxiing on this airplane, period, is that the brakes are super sensitive. So maybe I need to adjust that on my end. I'm not really sure. But that's the only thing that, you know, there's a few quirks about it, but I think that gives the airplane character, and that's what I like about these. So hats off to Dreamfoil. They did a great job on this airplane. The VC textures are just phenomenal. The lighting is good. The exterior model is, you got a whole cabin. I mean, pretty awesome airplane, I gotta say. Okay, we'll pop the tail stand back on her. Oop. There it is. We could always do this from the nose, remember, but it's more fun to do it manually by hand. Put that cover on, put a torpedo tube cover there, put the chocks on. We'll get this airplane ready for the, ooh, wrong one. There we go. For the next time of flight. So you got the tail stand on there and everything else. We could push the, actually, I don't know why I even brought those down. The stairs, we put those back up, and you can see when you have the master battery off, you don't have pilots in the airplane, and when you have it on, you do. So hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the EMB-110. Hit like if you want to see more of these kind of videos, and be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. Take care, guys.